Welcome to Korg's Headphones, a pop culture podcast. I'm Luke, and with me is Johnny, Kevin, and Farid. Today we'll be talking about What If, Episode 8, What If Ultron won, Star Wars Visions, an in-depth discussion about things we liked, things we didn't like, and some of our favorite moments. We'll also be talking, giving a quick update to the MCU and to Star Wars and what's going on in the world. And then to finish, we'll be doing our versus battle this week of Captain Marvel versus Hulk. So to start us off, let's talk about What If.
Yeah, so I'll kick off the conversation. This week's What If episode was, like Luke said, What If Ultron won? So essentially we get Ultravision, which is really interesting. It wasn't tied to the last episode. Even though we saw him appear at the end of it, it just branched off into his story. And so, yeah, first thing I'll bring up, I'm actually going to start a little bit later in the episode, and then we'll bring it back. But, sorry, I had to find my spot really quick. But the Watcher intervenes for the first time. So what do we think about this? What are your first impressions on the Watcher intervening?
As someone who hasn't really read the comics around him, I was not aware that this man is a beast. He's putting in that work, man. But it felt like, the whole show was kind of leading up to the moment where he would intervene. So it felt like only a matter of time. And it was interesting, like, with the whole Black Widow and Hawkeye moment. I thought he was going to intervene at that point. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was pretty wild.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was cool, especially because, leading up to this episode, I obviously didn't know what to expect. And I had just, read up on a lot of the, I had just read up on a lot of the Watchers stuff. So I kind of knew that they were, had the ability to kind of fight, but I did not expect it to be like that. And I think I had texted you guys about this, but I had recently also found out that they're as powerful as Celestials. So I didn't expect it to happen that way though. So I thought that was pretty awesome, especially how like they did the reveal where he's like, "Is he watching me?" And then it was just like, boom,
Yeah.
So
no.
Cool.
I thought it was super cool to see like when like Johnny said, like when he was about to intervene, I was like, you could see the build up all the way through this. Like, every episode he was like, should I intervene with Doctor Strange? And then like the whole thing where he felt like he could save them with what's his name? Zola. Yeah. So like having all those moments, it was cool to kind of see him become more of a character that was like in the story rather than like watching from the outside. So.
Yeah, for sure. And as you guys started to touch on, like, it was kind of forced. He didn't really have an option. He's questioned it a couple times if he should or if he shouldn't. But this time, Ultravision, obviously, once he succeeded in wiping people out, he saw the Watcher himself with the powers that he had manifested in that situation. All right, so we're going to rank this episode a little bit later in the conversation, but I'm going to bring up a couple of things at this point. We've all said that we've liked it, and there's two major things that I want to bring up, and I have to hear your guys' opinion. Because if we're going solely off MCU rules, it does break a couple rules, and I know that it's non-canon, but at the same time, it's obviously directly related to the MCU. So
I actually think it is canon.
Well, it should be following canon rules, but all the stories are separate, so they're not on the
different
same
multiverses.
Right?
Yeah.
Yep. But all right, so the first thing I'm going to bring up is there's some major timeline changes that even create the situation, because Thanos would have come to Earth when Ultron was trying to fight the Avengers in 2012, and he would have already had 4 of the 5 Infinity Stones, because he already had them all, and the last one he needed was the Mind Stone, and he appeared and Vision took all the 4 from him.
Yep.
Or Ultravision took all 4 from him. So how do you guys think? Like again, like tying the story in, there's some slight changes, but that's a pretty big difference.
I didn't even think about that. I didn't realize like you're totally right. Like he came way earlier, contrast to when he showed up the first time, but I did not think about that. Um, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
There's some other discrepancies too, like you're saying, Kev. Like first, how did he get the Soul Stone? Because it would have been Vormir.
Yeah.
The Tesseract technically, I mean, I know this is a different multiverse, so like the story's all different. So like technically, Soulstone might not be on Vormir in this timeline, but like for the sake of this conversation, the Tesseract should have been on Asgard, which we saw got blown up not by Hela or and get taken by Loki, but rather was exploded. So like Thanos' whole timeline is way different, as well as the stones and where they're at in time. Which is a good point. And same with Doctor Strange with the Time Stone. Clearly Thanos already had the Time Stone, so why was that not on Earth? But yeah.
Yeah.
We had a good...
For me, it was more,
Go ahead, John.
go ahead.
We had a good question come in from the chat here. Said, why didn't Vision do that to Thanos?
Can they read the notes or what?
Stole Kevin's question. Go ahead, Kev. Ask the question.
No, it's all right. So again, they must be able to screen watch my iPhone right now. The very next bullet point is with that controversy we just talked about, how quickly he takes out Thanos when he has 4 of the Infinity Stones already. Like he literally just cuts him in half like a piece of paper. So yeah, why didn't Vision do that? Like why was it so easy compared to what we've seen our heroes have to do to try to conquer Thanos?
Yeah. We did see. Yeah. Go ahead, Johnny.
It seemed like it was just. That was, to me, that was more head scratching. Like the Thanos getting all the stones, that was kind of like, okay, it's a different multiverse. Like, no big deal. We're just skipping that part. But then when he just slices him in half, I'm like, are you kidding me? But granted, at the same time,
like Luke already mentioned, Thanos would have had the Time Stone, right? So could he have potentially stopped that as soon as it started to cut him in the beginning?
Yeah, it was one of those things. It was like, I mean, Thanos was beatable previously, but kind of just had like the perfect storm, hit. But that one, was like, okay, that one was a little too simple.
Yeah.
But it does seem like
he didn't even aim for the head.
Say it again?
I said he didn't even aim for the head.
It does seem like overall though, in like what if like they're trying to just move us forward, like okay, like move past the Infinity Stones, they're not as strong as you thought they were. Like let's look at multiverse stuff now.
Well, we do see two things. One is in Infinity War, Vision. We never really got to see Vision at full power either because he was attacked by surprise. So like when he got stabbed, and so the rest of the movie he was like hurt, and then when they brought him back, they weren't really focused on him beating Thanos. They were focused on removing the Mind Stone from his head rather than him fighting. Just like if Scarlet Witch, we saw when Scarlet Witch decided to fight Thanos later, she almost beat him and he had to bring things. So like there wasn't like everyone just fighting Thanos, which maybe they could have won that way. It was just a different like idea of winning, I guess. They were doing it a different way. And then the same thing with when Thanos died. He also, the only time he almost died in Infinity War was when Thor caught him by surprise and he just didn't hit him in the right spot. And Thanos kind of got caught by surprise by Vision in this short clip because he came out thinking, I'm unstoppable, and this man just ripped him in half. So cut him like some Jersey Mikes. So
like Fruit Ninja. I know you guys remember that, like OG iPhone game. Just Fruit Ninja'd him. So easy.
Yeah. He hit the 5 fruit combo too. He would
dead. So, Fred, you got any highlights on that point or no?
No. You guys pretty much covered what I was thinking.
Okay. All right. So the last little controversial thing that I kind of took from this episode was the Infinity Stone physics are also then defied, because as soon as he broke the barrier into the Watcher's realm, because if you watch Loki in the TVA, they were using Infinity Stones as paperweights because they said once they were removed from their part of the universe or their multiverse version, that they weren't as powerful, they weren't as useful as they were when they were in their assigned realm. But his never change, obviously. Again, he breaks the barrier into where the Watcher is, and then him and the Watcher have that epic fight where they go between realm after realm, like they're throwing each other around through like glass barriers that are different realms of time or place, which was a cool fight scene for sure. But again, just kind of confusing from everything they told us about the Infinity Stones in the past.
For sure. Yeah, it's I'll let some other people talk on this too, but I was interested by that too, because we were under the, like you said, under the impression that they weren't powerful in other ones. So I wonder if it's like, Ultron's hit this amount of power that, like, Doctor Strange was able to go outside of the multiverse and see it. If that's what Ultron has hit this power because of his knowledge, because he is an AI, that he's able to use that stuff outside of the thing. So it'll be an interesting point, like, to see how they explain that, or if they will explain it. But that was my impression, and that's how I got past the annoyance of it not really making sense.
Yeah, one thought on that was, not only does he have Infinity Gauntlet, but then he also just has that power of the AI that was built. So those two coming together is pretty raw power. But then I definitely can't take credit for this because I wouldn't have ever thought of this. But I heard it on another podcast where they were talking about how that could have been like breaking through the realms or multiverses. Like that was the Watcher trying to escape. A Vision's power was like essentially able to follow him through that. So I thought that was a pretty interesting theory as well.
Like he was almost trying to draw him somewhere where he was no longer as powerful as he was then. Okay. That's,
Yeah, that was cool. Sorry, I mentioned earlier how I had recently watched something about that they kind of talked about the Watchers. And actually, just to kind of plug it, it's the YouTube channel is called Variant, and they have a bunch of like introduction to, and it's like a bunch of different characters. But I know I texted you guys this, but I thought my thoughts now, it's kind of unrelated to the question you asked, but my thoughts now were like, I was thinking once he was like, should I get involved? I kept thinking, because in the comics, the one time that the Watcher, or like the first time that the Watcher does get involved with something, it's actually with the Fantastic Four. So I'm like hoping that I highly doubt it, just based on how they left the last episode. I mean, who knows? They might not even continue on with, the same story. Hopefully they do, but I don't know. That's completely unrelated to your question, but something I wanted to add.
Go ahead, Kev.
Oh no, I didn't have anything. If you guys want to touch on that at all,
I had one more point. Well, I'll talk to Ferd's thing. That I had one more point about the stones. I was about to say that I don't think Marvel would introduce characters like that in a TV series, but then I was like, they just did that with Kang, so why would they not? They basically can do whatever they want. But the and kind of the X-Men with Quicksilver and WandaVision, but and Mephisto. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, I had to say that. But
we're gonna have to have a streak at the end of this of how many episodes we referenced Mephisto and didn't break the streak.
How we could get it in there. But the other thing I thought about with the stones is that because Vision has the Mind Stone integrated into his body, it's not just like itself. That could have been a reason that the stones worked, because his gauntlet wasn't like a thing he just put on. It was like a part of him, and so like who's to say that because it was like infused into his technological being, that's why it still worked outside of the realms. So because you would think that if they didn't work, as soon as he left, he would just die, because the Mind Stone's what powers him. You know what I mean?
Point.
So
that's a good point too, because that's what makes like Wanda and Captain Marvel so powerful, is like they essentially took in an Infinity Stone.
Yeah,
and
Captain Marvel's not that powerful, but we'll get into that later.
Yeah,
don't worry, that's just some
go ahead and try to preface that right now. This is that far away. All right, so just kind of in closing about what if now. I know that I brought up kind of some controversial points, and we've talked about it privately. But where does this rank for you guys in the episodes?
Number one.
Yeah,
Number one.
Number one. It was the best, and it's not even close.
Agreed.
no way. I have it at number 4 still. It was good.
Oh, dude.
Wow.
Still not
What?
there.
So you must have had. Can I guess? Because I know
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
your ranking, but it has to be the Star Lord T'Challa one is 1,
Yeah,
Killmonger is 2, and then Zombies is 3.
swap those two. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And
So you
then
are
this
wrong. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
This one, no, it's a great episode. Had me extremely engaged, and is definitely like I can't wait to see what happens next, especially with Doctor Strange coming in there at the end.
Yeah.
But it's still not there for me.
I'd be interested to see, if we took this to like viewership, like our Instagram and things like that, and like had like a bracket, and we could do the ranking. Like we tier them. So number 1, we give each one whatever, and then have them do a bracket, and which one would come out as the winner. Because I've had mixed reviews about every episode from different people that I've talked to about it.
Probably this one would come out as number 1, would be my guess. Because the introduction of the Watcher as a being who can go like and fight against the full force of the all the stones, like that's pretty significant. But I guess Johnny doesn't think so.
Hey, I'm just saying there's more that I enjoyed more, but it was a fantastic episode.
Somebody in the chat said that he's a contrarian, so he just always likes to go against everybody.
We also got to see another white man become president. Did you see Captain America?
Oh, I did see that. That was cool. I thought that was cool. I like how they do stuff like that. That's cool.
Yeah, that was a good little Easter egg on the side. I mean, I think I'm going to agree with Fred and Luke though, for a couple of reasons. I still think, Johnny, I understand where you're coming from, because I still think the zombies episode is my most enjoyed. But we've been talking every week that we want to see something get tied together, and they finally did it. Because we saw Ultravision at the end of the last episode, then got him this week, and we've been talking about when's the Watcher going to intervene, and we got it in the same episode. And so, to me, it's like, it has all the things that we've been asking for, and they hit us with it in episode 8. So obviously, it kept our interest, kept us talking about, is this going to happen, and then surprised us with it. So I think well written, well timed, and just classic Marvel.
Yeah,
we got 25 movies tied together, so they know what they're doing.
And to kind of go off like that whole like you said, Kev, like tying them all together, and that's why I brought up the Captain America thing, becoming president, was because early in the episodes, because like Johnny mentioned this last episode, where we think this is going to be like the big battle at the end. All the heroes are going to have to come together and fight. Peggy Carter. We're probably going to actually get to see Captain America alongside too, because we saw this. That was the last part, was them fighting where Captain America was as president. And at the end of the episode where they kill all the Avengers, it was the only living one was Captain America, because he was still frozen in ice. And he says, we only have one Avenger left. And it seems like that's the right timeline, because then he gets unfroze and then he becomes president, because like he saves the world or whatever, and they elect him. Who knows? But that seems like that's the narrative that's going along.
I wonder what his foreign policy is.
Yeah. Here's another segment. Would you vote for Captain America?
I would. Seems like a nice guy.
I am curious to see how they kind of pull all the different episodes together. Obviously, I don't think zombies will be pulled into this, but everything else, though, like kind of how Doctor Strange Supreme and the Watcher kind of start pulling, because I would imagine all these are happening in different worlds or different multiverses. It's like popping into each one. I'm curious how that all comes together.
Yeah.
But the Watcher would be in a neutral area, you'd expect, right?
I feel like at this point he's gonna be side by side with these guys.
Well, no, I just mean like you just said, about how you mentioned it's in different multiverses at the same time, but the Watcher
Sure.
is getting tied into one of the timelines at least now, right?
Yeah.
So you have to expect he's in a time neutral, or he's not in a place where time or space really exists because he can see into different areas.
We had a question from chat here. Would you expect Captain America to be a Republican or a Democrat?
A Republican, dude. He's a reppy, dude.
He's pro-war. Come on, man. That's all you need to know. We could make a list of reasons why.
No,
but
he's a
him
Republican,
being a
dude.
soldier, he's definitely Republican.
All right, this isn't a political podcast. Let's not get into it.
It's not. And for the record, there was no negative context on saying he's a Republican before anybody gets hurt, because nobody knows any of affiliations based on what we just said.
Well, I already made the another white president comment, so it's all right.
Yeah, but you're a minority in this chat, Luke, so you can say things like
Yeah, son. We're taking over now, son. We got it from here.
Diversity's good, I believe. All right, let's go into.
He just had to say that. He doesn't actually believe that. He just
Oh my gosh, don't be, that's terrible.
Oh no.
Oh man. All right, so let's go into Star Wars Visions, Johnny. You want to kick us off?
Now that we've had a week for everybody to digest what they saw, go back and watch the ones you enjoyed most. Before we get into, I got plenty of questions coming up for you guys, but just give me your overall thoughts. How'd you like it? What did you like about it? What did you hope was better? Hit me.
I'll start. And I'll start for this reason. I'll start because I told you guys I have never really watched an anime that I've enjoyed. I always just shun Luke for the next 5 minutes. No, we're not going to do that. I've never really enjoyed anime, so I was really skeptical going into this. And I said this last week. I'm going to say it again. I was absolutely blown away. Not every episode was created equal. But I was still, even the episodes that I didn't like as much, I still thoroughly enjoyed, just because it was such a different take on Star Wars, and it was such a different take on the story. I was really, really impressed. I liked it. Even, like I said, even the ones I thought were like, that was boring, I'm just going to skip through this. Even those, I was like, man, just like the art style and the animation, all that stuff, I loved it. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah. The only go ahead, Kev.
No, you got it, Luke.
The only episode, like Farid said, I enjoyed all of them. The overall artwork was incredible. The stories were actually entertaining and like had such a good twist to them for like what they were. And the only one I didn't like still had some very cool art styles and like a very cool like showing of some cool characters that we've seen in the past with episode 2. So like I enjoyed it. I thought it was super cool. And I enjoyed the stories. They were so different, so it was fun to have a different taste.
Yeah, I agree. It was good. There was only one episode I didn't really like, but other than that, yeah, it was good. I like seeing some katana-style lightsabers. That's a little bit different than what we normally see. And I'm sure we'll talk about favorite moments, so I won't say anything like that yet, but there was one episode where I definitely liked a concept that we had never seen before, and it was very intriguing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get the negative out of the way, Kev. What was the one you didn't like?
Man, to be honest, I didn't really like, I think it was the second episode where they're like the little rock band.
I loved that one, bro.
I'm going to be honest, I was hyped that Boba Fett was in it. And then just the way the episode went, I was like, oh, this is cute. And like, which is that's a very anime style. Not the one that I'm interested in, but it was, again, not like a bad episode. I just didn't enjoy it. It was cute.
I agree. That's the one that I didn't enjoy as much. And I think I would have enjoyed it more if they didn't incorporate Boba Fett to it, because when I saw Boba Fett was in it, I was excited. And honestly, Boba Fett was the best part. Like, his art style to that character was super cool. But like, if it wasn't Boba Fett, I probably would have enjoyed the episode a little bit more, because the the storyline was interesting, so and like different, but I think it was a letdown that that's how they used Boba Fett in this series, I guess.
Yeah, I gotta say the way the artwork for him for that episode I thought was super cool, but I agree with you guys, that was kind of the highlight of the episode for me. And that was kind of one of the weaker episodes for me. Still, glad I saw it, but we'll never watch it again, probably.
Yeah.
Type of thing. But all right, well, moving on from there, the complete opposite. What was your guys' favorite episode?
The duel, the first one, is unmatched. I don't think any of I don't think any of the other episodes came anywhere near to being as creative and as cool as that one.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
I agree. I think the duel was high up there, but actually one of the ones I enjoyed a lot was the Elder.
That one was sick.
I thought that one was super cool because it was like kind of gave us like an Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon Jinn vibe, or Anakin and Obi-Wan, like of like the master and everything, and then just seeing it. I don't know if any of you guys have watched Avatar: The Last Airbender, but the Elder gave me vibes from a villain from that story or like that show. So it was kind of cool to see like a little bit of a like the style, I guess, crossover. It was kind of fun.
Yeah, those are both those episodes are my top 3. But for a little bit of the sake of debate, but also this could be my number 1. I like the Ninth Jedi one, where
that was sick.
Kara, her dad was the Jedi blacksmith, and or Jedi crafter, or I'm sorry, lightsaber crafter, and was building those. And the thing that I really liked about that episode was that I'm coming back to defying physics of what we've known in these universes before, but like the kyber crystal or those lightsabers reading your energy and then projecting that into the saber.
That was sick.
That was really cool to me, and it was really interesting when like hers was clear. Just when she was looking at it for the first time and it could be adjusted. And I just like the twist on that story too.
Yeah.
Yes, those are actually my 3 favorite episodes that you guys mentioned. But that was the lightsaber like reading you, and like that's the color. That was like my overall favorite concept that we saw from the entire series. But yeah, no, back to the Elder episode. That one, like when the Padawan got hit, as you were talking about Phantom Menace vibes, I thought we were about to get like a Darth Maul scene where he's just sliced in half. I was kind of surprised that he lived through that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just another one of those things where they're kind of breaking like the mold. Or even in the twins episode, like, they're both in space and they're both like fighting and breathing in space. Like what's going on here?
Yeah.
But to me, like, that's why, I don't know, I almost take a little point away from that, because it's, like, very Star Wars-y where the good person doesn't die. And the bad person, like, the evil person doesn't really get what they wanted. Like, I would have maybe liked it a little more, not to be dark, but if he would have actually killed the Padawan and the Master would have come back for real revenge. But,
I'd agree with that.
It's very, very Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's facts, though.
Which is okay.
Go ahead, Fred.
I would say my 3 favorite were the duel, the Ninth Jedi, and La Pinocho. I thought
La Pinocho was very good. I agree.
I thought it had the best like fighting scene, and it was super intense.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah,
I like the concept.
Man, you're segueing me perfect. One of my next questions was, what was your favorite battle, whether that be lightsaber battle or not?
Well, mine's that one, La Pinocho. I thought it was awesome. It was so cool. They're like screaming at each other, and like she's using like an actual sword, and then the other girl's using a lightsaber or a sword too. I can't even remember, but
yeah,
I thought it was really cool.
Dad, how about you?
Man, I'm gonna go to my favorite episode with the Ninth Jedi one, just because, like, obviously the most people, but obviously that's not just the reason that makes it better, but just a lot of different styles, and the 4 people who were Sith, and they had the one person, I guess, also kind of on their side because they were overpowering him and having shadow on his mind. But just the two younger Jedis fighting off the older ones, the girl come into her own, and you finding out she's got a green saber in the middle of a fight. And then also, I like the transition after they took out the bad people, and I can't think of what the guy is called right now. That was in the droid, and he hopped out, and he was also one of the people that was trying to help with the Jedi Order or rebuild it. They talked to another one that was fighting at the end, and his saber turns from red to purple. Just the transition, because he was like, "You're not really. That's not you." And so I thought it was just interesting contrast to see, them get put in a tough spot as good characters, and then, a young Padawan of some sorts comes into their own, and then they transition one of the people who was getting turned to the dark side back to good. I thought that was all tied together, pretty fun.
Yeah.
Luke, did you have a favorite battle?
I did. I had a couple, but I think the duel was super cool, and mostly because of the lightsaber catch, like with that moment was just incredible. But my actual favorite battle, which is not one of my favorite episodes, it was still good, but was the Toby episode, him
cool.
versus the Inquisitor, was actually a really cool lightsaber fight. Like and the angles that they did of the animation of him like jumping over the Inquisitor multiple times and avoiding him and all that stuff was very like Jedi-y, but with a droid, and I thought it was super cool concept.
I think it'd be Jedi-ish, Luke.
Whatever, Jedi-y.
just like it's never Legos.
Yeah, it's Lego. PSA.
So, Johnny, I don't want to take away from another topic, but just while Luke brings that up, Can we just talk about how that was the most confusing episode for me? Because
me too, bro.
Was being portrayed as being able to be a Jedi.
So let me throw this out there. Star Wars Visions is not canon. First of all, but second, I think this shows the power of the Kuiper crystals throughout the entire series, and how a lot of this stuff comes from the Kuiper crystals. I said Kuiper at the beginning, but Kuiper crystals, because you saw in the duel, he had all those Kuiper crystals. We saw in the twins that big stone that was gonna blow up was basically building the ninth Death Star or whatever, was also one. And then all the way through, the ninth Jedi was about him. Toby was built out of a Kuiper crystal. All this stuff. And so, I think that they were focusing more on that the crystals were where the power of the Jedi came from, rather than the actual people.
They give a lot more a lot more emphasis to the crystals than any of the movies do. And actually, not the Last Jedi. The video game. What's the Star Wars game?
The last
Fallen Order.
Yeah,
Fallen Order. Fallen Order is I don't know if that's canon. I don't know what the deal is with that, but it is. So canon. It's in my opinion, it's probably the only piece of canon Star Wars in terms of film and games, not mentioning the comics, because most people don't really read the comics, but they actually put a lot of emphasis in the Kyber crystal in the game, because you have to go on this journey to find it or whatever, and I'm sure they mentioned that in the movies, but
it's time for you to watch some Clone Wars, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched it. I'm talking about movies, because most people won't watch the shows unless they're enthusiasts. But I really liked how they gave it almost a mythical, he handed him the red Kyber crystal. He said, "This will keep you safe."
Yeah.
It's bro, it's just a crystal. But they kind of made it a mythical thing, which I thought was super, super cool.
Yeah, I think they definitely put more emphasis in that, and that's my point with Toby, is that he was built off of one. So even to Clone Wars, Johnny mentioned, they put more emphasis on it a little bit, but not to the extent that this has, even throughout the entire series, because basically every episode had some relation to it, and the power of them. So yeah,
I had a nightmare about the Elder's face, bro, straight up. That man was scary looking.
He's pretty ugly.
I want you to ask one of your questions that leads into that, Johnny. I saw it on the script, about Kyber crystals and fight scenes. There's a piece of that we haven't talked about yet.
Straight up, what's your guys' favorite lightsaber?
Luke, why don't you go first?
So
wait, in Visions or
no, in Visions.
In Visions.
In Visions. Yeah. Okay.
I thought it might not have been the coolest looking lightsaber, but the coolest lightsaber to me was the one in the twins. Not the girl's lightsaber, but the one that just destroyed the Star Destroyer. Went through, because that thing, not only was it super powerful, but the color of it was like a bluish pink. It was kind of like he was fighting with himself still, like being.
All right, which episode?
Sith, the twins. And
when he cuts the ship in half, and cuts her out of the suit.
That thing is pretty sick. So that's my answer. I like that one a lot.
I'm gonna have to go with. I think it was the one in the Ninth Jedi, the lightsaber that can stretch and shrink, and based on what you want and the color. I think I'm gonna go with that one. I think I like that. Because some days I'm in my Yeezys, some days I'm in my Vans, you know? Some days I'm a blue lightsaber and some days I'm a purple one. It is what it is. Sometimes I'm 6 feet long and some days I'm 3 feet. I'm just right here, you know? I'm just putting you up just right next to me. So, you know, I like that one. I think it fits more of my vibe. So that's probably my favorite one.
Oh my God. I'm dead.
And I would say my favorite one had to be just the first one in the duel. I think
Samurai
just
or the spinning one.
No, the Samurai. I actually thought you were gonna say the spinning one.
Samurai was really cool.
Yeah, maybe just because it was the first one I saw and was like, okay, this is dope.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the one I got. I don't know, man. Like most of my favorite lightsabers are Sith lightsabers.
Yeah. Well, all the other ones are pretty basic.
Yeah, I think the Katana ones or the one like Fred brought up that could be customized almost. If I have to pick one, I'm going to go with the Katana one.
The other one's underrated in this series that I kind of just thought of was in, I think it's just in the duel we get to see him. The lightsaber that he uses to kill her wasn't like his normal blade, because he had that one staged. He had the mini katanas that were on his side, and he had another one, and the one he pulled, the hilt of it was this long, but the blade was the same length. That thing was pretty sick. I'd love to see two of those.
Like a dagger.
Yeah, exactly. It was pretty sick. Yeah. So.
I also really like the elders, having two, and the way they looked. I thought that was sweet too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, overall, it seems like, pretty positive feedback. Would you guys be interested in having a second season, or just kind of that was sweet, let's leave it as it is?
I'm down for a season 2.
Yeah, I agree. I think I would I think I'd be down for a season 2. Maybe with some caveats to it, but yeah. I'd like a season 2.
I like caviar.
If there was a season 2, would you guys be interested in them either picking one episode and building a whole season off it, or kind of seeing, extensions to each individual story, but not a full thing on each story, or just completely new things?
I'd like to see him continue on some of the stories that we started. I don't think all of them need to be continued on. And a few, I don't know if there's really a place to go. Maybe based on
that's a good point.
How they finish. But the ones that could, that'd be pretty interesting.
Yeah,
I'm with Kev. I'm with Kev there. What are we gonna do? We're gonna have another episode 2. They're gonna do another concert. I don't need to see that again.
Yeah, that one we're good.
I agree.
They impressed Jabba. We're good. They won.
See, that's the one I wanted them to continue. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's gonna be part of Book of Boba Fett.
Boba Fett again.
That is the book of Boba Fett. It's the hymnal. It's the hymnal book of Boba Fett. But no, I agree. I think it would be cool to see them keep maybe 4 of them, and then give us new episodes, and continue the story, or give us prequels to them. And then the other ones, replace with new stories and new animations and things like that would be super cool. I don't really want to see the twins continue. It was a cool episode, but I don't think there's more of a story there that I really care about.
He's gonna search the universe for his sister because he thinks she's still alive.
Well, yeah, but
Oh yeah.
Who cares?
Hey, really quick. I want to give a quick shout out to my friend Nando in the chat. He's a huge anime fan, and we talked about this. And as you can see, he said right there, I loved every episode. Every animation style was beautiful. I feel like some of the episodes were rushed and had no value to them. I would agree, and I think we would agree with episode 2. It was kind of like, okay, it's just like a concert, but. No, he is a very big anime fan, and we actually talked about this and how it was like amazing. It was so cool.
I'd agree too. Like some of the episodes ended weird. Like I didn't and maybe that's because they're planning on continuing them or they were leaving them open ended. But some of them, like they can't. Like he kind of said they were like rushed into an ending. Like it kind of felt like this could have like it just skipped some things, and it's because they were short episodes. I understand that, but there were some things I feel like could have continued.
And just so if anyone cares, the Margrave is the character from the Ninth Jedi episode.
There you go.
Hey Nando, what was your favorite episode? I think I want to know. I'm curious. Huh?
I said, while he's typing that back.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they did say like there's no plan as of right now for a season 2, but based off essentially how it's received, which so far it seems like it's mostly positive feedback, that they're open to another season of it. So who knows? Maybe we'll see something else. But
yeah.
So I got a question for you guys. If we're gonna wait to see if he's gonna respond, also, what like species of character that we know is in Star Wars did we not see at all that you'd want to see in one of these, or maybe you want to see more of them?
I'm always down for some Wookiee action.
Me too. I was gonna say the same thing actually.
Was there no?
I'm down for some Wookiee.
There was none. Yeah. At least none that I noticed. Maybe there was.
I'm glad that was the response because that's what I was thinking of too. Like, take us to Kashyyyk or show us something with some Wookiees. Like, I want to see a little bit more.
I really want to see the Gungans. Little Jar Jar action. That was what I was looking for. I thought it would have been a lot more fun if, like, we didn't get to see the guy in the duel's face the whole time, and then when he pulled off the hood, it was Jar Jar. Like, I would have really enjoyed that.
Yeah, that's like the ultimate Rickroll.
Yeah, or C-3PO would have also been really cool if he pulled the hood off and it was C-3PO. But cool.
We can move on. We'll come back to him if he responds or not. But
cool. Yeah. Johnny, anything else for Star Wars Visions?
That's all I got.
Love it. Overall, I thought it was super cool. Hopefully they do more kind of stuff like that in the future. I think everyone would agree with that. Like things that we're not expecting with Star Wars, Marvel, all of that. So next, let's talk about some of the upcoming stuff before we get into our versus battle here, with just things that got announced recently. Battle. Oh yeah, my bad. Some of our some of the stuff that's coming up, some of the things that were announced recently, or some things like that. So we just have a couple things to talk about. So Disney Plus Day comes out November 12th, which is just like a special look. We talked about that last week at Star Wars Projects, Marvel Projects. Hopefully we get a Book of Boba Fett trailer. Speaking of that, the Book of Boba Fett was confirmed for December 29th. We already had like a confirmation that it was the end of December, but that was like a complete from Disney confirmation that it was coming out the 29th. That'll be exciting to see. We also, Johnny sent me this morning as soon as it happened, that Marvel President Victoria Alonso says that there's 31 MCU projects in the works right now, which is crazy that there's that many, which is also very exciting. Oh. So it'll be cool. And then last but not least, kind of least because it's not an MCU one, is that the Venom came out tonight. So we'll be talking about that pretty soon on the podcast and giving our feedback on it and what we thought about it. So be sure to go see that so that you're not getting any spoilers when we talk about it. So cool. That is the MCU and Star Wars update in decent pop culture.
31 MCU projects in the works, bro. Is that real?
It is real. That's coming from insane. The president of Marvel.
It's
That's
insane.
so
to think
many.
about. There hasn't been that many overall put out. I mean, 25 movies and what we're on our fourth show.
Yeah.
Like,
What?
that's insane to think about.
Yeah. Is
Hey,
there
keep on coming.
is there anything like I know we're excited for Fantastic Four, Wolverine, seeing the X-Men in here. Is there anything else that you are like really excited for from like that hasn't been mentioned that maybe is coming? Like a character. So like stuff maybe it's been mentioned but it hasn't been confirmed.
Have we talked about how Korg is in the Deadpool ad for Free Guy yet?
Yes. Yes.
Is it really?
We haven't talked about it, but that's
Gotta-
great.
I would love to
That's
see a
gotta
Deadpool
be
movie.
one step closer to getting Deadpool in there, please.
Correct.
Dude, I would love to see a Deadpool movie directed by Taika Waititi. I think if they're going to do a Deadpool movie, it has to be directed by Taika Waititi. There's no one else.
James Gunn
There's
would
no-
do a decent job, I think. But maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Dude, that's blowing my mind. 31 MCU projects in the works. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
so many. A lot to look forward to.
Yeah, for sure. It'll be exciting to kind of see some of how it goes together, because there's still some really big bad characters that we haven't seen yet, and heroes that we haven't really touched on. I mean, still have the full X-Men to go through, which is arguably the biggest Marvel collection. Spider-Man has its own like gambit of heroes and villains, and then Galactus. We're just now getting King the Conqueror. Also, real quick, did anyone else notice the Galactus reference in What If, or Easter egg with Ultron eating the planet? Like Galactus did in the comic. I mean, in the comics and in the cartoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't really notice it at the time though.
I'll send you a picture. Someone took screenshots of both, and the way Ultron's like helmet is up, it makes it look like it's Galactus if you like change the color. It's just kind of interesting. But cool. Well, Farid, why don't you kick us off into the versus segment here, and so we can have our debate here, and everything.
All right. So for people listening, live right now, and those listening later, just a quick refresher. So last week we introduced our new segment called Versus, where I randomly selected teams, randomly assigned teams, and we randomly assigned heroes. And basically from last week to this week, we've had all this time to do our homework on why we believe the hero that we got randomly picked would beat the other hero in a battle. So the teams were Mr. Johnny and Mr. Kev, and Luke and myself. So Johnny and Kev got Captain Marvel, and we got Hulk. So here's how this is going to work. So the first team that goes, which will be Johnny and Kev, you guys will have a few seconds to say, intro remarks, why you think your hero is going to win, blah, 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 just very kind of basic minor level stuff. And then I'm going to start a timer for 1.5 minutes, and you'll have 1.5 minutes to explain your first point, why you think your hero is superior to our hero.
Have you ever freestyle battle before? Do you know how long 1.5 minutes is?
We can do a minute. We'll do a minute.
No, yeah.
No, for
Yeah,
this,
make it a
it's
minute.
they just don't have
Hold
as
on, how
much
many
info
rounds?
as us.
That's because we don't need as much info.
We'll do a minute. I just
I
realized
got a
a
trump
minute
card
and a half
over here.
is.
So
Swing.
wait, are we just doing one round?
So we're gonna do so you guys will have 1 minute to give your first kind of point of reason, and then I'm gonna stop the minute unless you guys end early, which you probably will because you don't have that much to say. And then
I love how
Luke
you that's bad.
and then Luke and I will say our intro marks, or Luke will say our intro remarks, and then we'll go into a minute so our first point, and then you guys go back to your second, then we go to our second, then to your third, and then our third, and once all of it has been laid out, then we'll go boom. That's when we'll go back and forth into each other.
All right,
Does that make
got
sense?
it.
All right.
Yep, easy.
Team Johnny and Kev.
Wakanda forever. Team Wakanda forever.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Team Wakanda forever. Why don't you guys start us off?
Kev, hit us with your opening remarks.
Yeah, hit me with your opening, and then tell me when you're ready to go so I can start this timer.
Yep, start it.
All right, it's on.
DJ, spin the track. If you've never seen freestyle battles, at least watch 8 Mile. You'll get the reference. All right. So to start, her intelligence and experience. So she's been and this is all MCU based arguments for those that are watching at home. So we're not bringing in World Breaker Hulk and other things from the comics. This is straight MCU related. But again, her intelligence and experience. So she's been flying around different universes for 20-something years now, saving planets from getting destroyed from various types of villains, like Thanos type, Celestial types. She has an Infinity Stone inside of her, so she can counter just about any type of powers to obviously, again, save extinctions and planets. And then also with that experience, like tactics, obviously she has to come up with certain tactics if she's fighting different type of people in different universes. There's different type of ways she has to use her cosmic powers to defeat people. And the bigger one of that is going to be consciousness versus Hulk's raging, which, adds to an intelligence piece.
Keep it coming. Keep it coming.
Yeah, you can keep talking.
So my last one was just, again, like her consciousness fighting against, again, Hulk just raging to a certain extent is the final point that I have in this intelligence experience over Hulk.
Okay. So now do I go with our opening remarks for it?
Yeah, well, you could just. It seems like they kind of got all of them. So you just give all our points, and then we'll just go back and forth.
Oh, I didn't give all of them.
We'll just go back with the opening remarks, and then we'll just go back and forth. It's fine.
Okay.
This is our first time. So our opening remarks. This is MCU based. So we talked about what are the attributes of a superhero. What makes the strongest superhero? Number 1 is intelligence. Number 2 is strength. Number 3 is combat experience. Number 4 is the speed ability. Number 5 is healing and strength. Or I already said strength, healing, and then the last is durability. So healing and durability are similar, but those are kind of the attributes of a hero. What we came to the conclusion is that Hulk wins in every category except for one, and that one category is combat experience because of the actual fighting style. So we'll get into those points.
You're not talking about Professor Hulk, bro.
We'll get into that and go into this farther. But the next part of our opening statements is the thing about the Hulk is it's not just the Hulk. The Hulk is a part of two people or in two beings that have merged into one. You'll get your chance to counter Kevin West. You'll get your chance to counter Kevin West. It's my time. And that those two people are Bruce Banner and the Hulk. And so those two coming together create the character, the Incredible Hulk. And so
that is very accurate. They do not both fight.
But
I'm sorry, keep going.
And so what our conclusion to our opening statement here is that because of the two people coming together to be the Incredible Hulk, Hulk wins in intelligence, he wins in strength, he wins in speed, he wins in healing and durability. And so overall power, Hulk is the more powerful hero.
Yeah, because powerful directly applies to strength. So
all right, so we're gonna start this off by saying I know I went on Google and I said Hulk versus Captain Marvel, and exactly what you just said came up in some, and it had that full article. So I'm a little bit disappointed in your guys' work coming up with this argument here.
Let them know, Johnny.
But
we got our sources cited, bro.
Yeah, do you want us to cite our sources here? Yeah. Because that's not what happened. We did pull our sources, but we also took them from different things. That's how debates work, Jonathan. So if you want to call us out like that, you also pulled all yours from movies.
Yeah, well, that's what we're basing it off of. We're basing it off of the MCU, and so we gotta remember. First thing is first. Hulk is definitely dubbed down in the MCU. He is not as awesome as he really should be.
Facts. And Captain Marvel is a lot more powerful than she's OP in the MCU. Let's just get that straight.
Let's just remember that you have that on record saying that in this debate.
I mean, in the comics, she's not that powerful.
Yeah, it's different. For sure.
With that being said, as we saw, and actually just last week's episode, she had to calm down her powers or else she was going to wreck the planet with her cosmic ability. So that strength is next level. That, Hulk is not going to be able to compete with that at all. Not only to mention, half the time Bruce Banner can't turn into the Hulk. He's struggling out here. So although, yeah, sure, he can heal himself, half the time he can't turn into what he needs in time. But also, let me see what else I got written down for you. We all agreed last week that, you know, Captain Marvel would beat Thor or could beat Thor. I don't think any of us are going to say that Thor or Hulk is beating Thor. So off that conversation as well, we got Captain Marvel up ahead. But yeah, I mean, overall, based off just what we've seen in the MCU, her ability is consistently, even though she does keep taking L's in almost every battle she's in, she's fighting like, next level type of things. She took Ultravision or whatever we want to call them into essentially the core of the Earth or whatever planet they were on. She was giving him that business before, he put in essentially, okay, let's put the Infinity Stones into action. So she's putting in that work. So I don't think Hulk is going to be anywhere near any of the powers that she's been fighting and consistently putting up, numbers.
Before I say anything new, I have two direct rebuttals to Luke's comments that he just made. Number one, intelligence, false. Let's just refer back to Loki, the beginning of that, when they are in Infinity War or in Endgame, and they're going back in time. Hulk knows the plan of certain things. They make him take the stairs. He takes out Tony, messes up the whole thing because it's not Bruce Banner. It is the Hulk doing dumb ass shit because he's raging, because he's upset. Number two, you said speed. Agility also is a part of speed category. The Hulk cannot fly, and Captain Marvel can. So he may be faster on the ground, but if she takes the battle to the air, he is one directional in the air because he can't cut in the air because he can't fly. And so that's a split to me, because if she makes it an aerial battle, how is he going to defend that? She could take it underwater. How's he going to defend that? Look at what happened in
He can hold his breath. He can hold his breath.
Water. Can he? Because Hulk also can't breathe in space or underwater, and I've already looked this up. And so she could also, with her intelligence, take him to space, get him to rage out, chase her somewhere, and then potentially he can't breathe, he goes unconscious, she wins.
All right,
do you
Luke,
want to go for it?
Weapons free.
Do you want me to go, or do you want me to
go ahead, because I know we're going to say the same thing, so go ahead.
Okay, so a couple of points here. I need to rebuttal first Johnny, and then I'll rebuttal Kevin's rebuttal to us. So the first one is Johnny said that Hulk wouldn't be able to withstand Carol's powers, or Captain Marvel's powers, if she went to full power and destroyed the Earth. First of all, Hulk is not going to die from photon radiation. He won't, or for photon power. He will. All that will happen is he'll get continually more strong, because the thing with Hulk is that his powers are based off his rage and his anger. So the more punches he takes, the stronger he gets, because the more angry he gets. And we see that in Ragnarok with, which is my other point to him not being able to fly. His leaping ability is basically flying. He can jump out of the. Go ahead, Kev.
But you can't change direction. You just can't change direction.
I understand that, but
she can fly. He can't. He has to jump there.
Correct. I'm just saying though that it's not like he's just stuck on the ground getting pelted. He's gonna be able to take hits as flying.
Yeah, for sure.
The other point that I had is that you said that he would rage out and like he knocked over Tony Stark and all this and ruined the plan. That's one version of Hulk.
That's the elevator.
That's not his. That's not the full potential Hulk that we saw in the MCU. We get to take every piece of Hulk that we saw in MCU. So we saw Professor Hulk in the MCU, and so the Professor Hulk he
was physically weak
because of his. That's not true. He was physically weak because he took the radiation of the Infinity Gauntlet. So his if you were taking his power and then putting his Professor Hulk abilities together, he's not weak. He's just injured from taking on the power of the Infinity Gauntlet, which even Thanos wasn't able to withstand. And then the other point to that is that Bruce Banner is a top 3, if not top 5, if not top 3 smartest people in all of the MCU. Like, and that's not really debatable. It's Shuri, Tony Stark, and Bruce Banner. So
wait, can I ask one question in this? Can I
Yeah.
ask one question? Who were the 2 people that analyzed the 10 rings when it needed to be done at the end of the last What If episode?
Okay, Bruce Banner and Carol Danvers. But the only reason Carol Danvers was there is because she has knowledge from other realms. All they asked was, "Is that something
She
you've
has
ever?
knowledge.
Is that something you've ever seen?" And then she left. They were asking. They had.
Well, she removed herself. She said she had to go do something.
But the
else.
only reason Bruce was there because of his knowledge of like actual science, not of just seeing things.
I'm just saying they asked 2 people, and it's the same 2 people that we're talking
She
about.
wouldn't be in the room if Tony Stark was alive. But
I think Bruce is the one getting subbed out in that one.
Huh?
I said Bruce is the one getting subbed out in that one.
The point though to me is that first, you can't discredit Hulk's knowledge because we saw a Professor Hulk version. You can't discredit his power or his durability because even though you said that when he can't turn into the Hulk, multiple times he's mentioned that this is a fight to the death, not just a fight. From my understanding, this is who would win. So and Hulk doesn't lose until he's dead. And he can't die from her powers. So if she's going to keep doing, he's going to keep raging. And he said multiple times, "I tried to kill myself," and the Hulk spit it out. So once it comes to the point of the host body dying, the Hulk is coming back, and we saw that multiple times, even in What If.
Yes, sir.
But again, like she doesn't need to physically beat him. Like you said, if he takes damage, he eats it and he rages out more. With her smartness, like she can take him to space. He can't breathe in space. He goes unconscious. That's it. She destroys the planet they're both on. They're both in space. In the vacuum, he can't breathe. That's it. She could drown him also.
Okay.
So we could talk circles in that one because that's how it's going to go. The last comment that I have, and we can see if Johnny has anything else, is that Kevin Feige is on record saying that Captain Marvel is the strongest character in the MCU. So,
Okay.
literally says the strongest character in the MCU that they've ever had.
Okay. Captain Marvel said. Okay. 2 things. Tony Stark said that Hulk is the strongest Avenger. Second.
Strongest. Tony
Second,
versus Kevin Feige.
Yeah.
All right.
Second, in the Captain Marvel herself said that Hulk would beat her in a fight. Now this is a comic version, but I'm just saying that she said that she is no match for the
Hulk. That's in the
Hulk.
wrong multiverse, bro. That's in the wrong multiverse.
Here's the thing. Here's what I don't like about your
Hulk.
Here's what I don't like about your argument with
Immortal
taking
Hulk.
him to space or into the water. You make it sound like she's just gonna pick him up and
Yeah.
fly him up there. Like that's not gonna happen.
He'll just go dead weight. What's she gonna do?
Like there's no way.
She could just fly in a place where he can't reach her. What's he gonna do? Throw shit at her?
Yeah.
Well, okay, then that's,
Yeah.
And she
Buildings.
can destroy it before it even gets there, though, because she could just turn on her gamma radiation and destroy everything that gets in her area.
In the end, this is a moot point because first, Hulk's not going to die no matter what. He might pass out, but he's not going to die. And second of all he's going to do is continually get
How is he-
stronger.
If he stays passed out for eternity, you're dead. What do you mean?
I don't know.
If you're unconscious, we don't put you in a state where
I
you
actually-
can become
I
reconscious.
actually don't know.
It doesn't
We'd
matter if you survive.
Correct. I mean, yeah, you're right. From like, I'd be interested to see like and look up past ways Hulk has died, like in comics and things like that, because, like I've seen like multiple like comics. They put him in different things, and he was able to live. Like he was underwater and then came back. Like because he's the Hulk in the comics. He's like just can't die. So I'd be interested to see like if those are viable ways to kill him, because like Planet Hulk, dude's jumping from planet to planet, and things like that. So
Well, yeah, like you said though, there's a lot of different characteristics in the comics than there are in the MCU, and what we're essentially just seeing more of right now. Because the Hulk also he wouldn't have had issues with the Infinity Stones if they go by comic book Hulk, because he would have been fine. He would have been able to reverse a snap, and Tony wouldn't have had to do it. It wouldn't have hurt him the way it did hurt Bruce in the movie.
If this was comic book
it'd be
Hulk
over.
versus Captain Marvel, Hulk wins automatically, because the only time they've ever fought in the comics, Captain Marvel literally sat there and punched him like 500 times and he ate them all, and then when he finally got a punch in, he killed her in one punch. So like it's not really a comparison when it comes to the comic books, but in I think it's like a 6 to 10 in the MCU, like in that fight, or more of a 50-50 chance than it would be in the comics. And that's my thought.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
Your opinion's wrong.
Final thoughts, Team Wakanda. Final thoughts.
I mean, this man just said that Captain Marvel has a higher chance of beating him than Hulk does, so we'll leave it up to the fans to the vote.
I said 50% chance, but okay.
You said 60%.
No, we said
in Hulk's favor.
50. He said 60% in Hulk's favor. He said 50%
chance.
I
said 6 to 10. I said it was 8 to 10, then 6 to 10.
That was a good thing they can rewind and we can't right now. So
no, we can rewind. And let me do it. He said 6 to 10.
And if I did, then I was misspoke, because I will clarify now. Clearly, I meant 8 to 10 and 6 to 10 in Hulk's favor. And at best, 50-50.
Final thoughts for us. Bottom line, Captain Marvel cannot kill the Hulk. So it's just going to be...
But she can, bro.
No, she can't.
She physically can't.
How?
No, she physically can't.
She destroys the planet that they're both on, and he is floating in space unconscious.
Okay, let's put them in impenetrable boxes. Like, this is like, you're like giving them circumstance that's like...
How? That's a fight. That's a circumstance. He's stronger than her. That's a circumstance. She can fly. That's a circumstance.
But what Luke is saying is you're adding context. We could do the same thing.
But how can there not be added context?
Well, we could say, okay, they're fighting in a metal box where they're stuck in this box. Now that fight never ends.
What metal box can contain those two? A planet is containing them. I'm not making random shit.
The metal box that Kevin Feige
invented on a planet right now.
It's made of Mjolnir.
It's made of vibranium. They both can't escape it.
See, like,
Hulk
I'm not
wins.
reaching that far in my argument at all.
I know, but you get what I'm saying, though. That like it's not Carol Danvers killing the Hulk. It's her destroying the world to that killing the Hulk. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it's like
it's a fight to the death. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Okay, well.
She doesn't win. So
you get what I'm saying.
Here's how we score this. Here's how we score this internally. It's space wins, and then it's 0-0 for us, because ultimately space is the one that wins, because she just blows up the planet and now it's just space. Space is the winner.
Well, in that case, then the Infinity Stones were the winner, because Thanos just did the snap, but they did all the work.
I'm willing to submit that. Anyways, those are the final thoughts. Go online, go on Instagram. I think Luke's gonna probably put a poll up or something
Can't
this
wait
week.
for the poll.
Go vote.
If
you're in the chat, go vote on who you think would win based on this debate or based on your personal preference. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get ready for next week's edition of Versus. So I updated the list. I took out Captain Marvel and I took out Hulk, so we don't get the same characters.
And always staying same teams.
Same teams. Or do you want?
We can mix them. We can mix them.
Okay, hold on. Now I got to do this again.
Y'all still don't come up with a team name?
We're to be determined. That's our team name.
Yeah, that's our team name, bro.
TBD.
Yeah, come on now.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing.
On our team name.
All right.
All right. So I'll make sure I don't come up with too many circumstances for the fight.
That's when I would have thrown out my I object thing. I would have been like, I object relevancy.
Got it. Okay. Team 1 is objection. Now Farid and Johnny, and Team 2 is now Luke and Kevin. Obviously, because there's only 4 of us, and I said the first team, which is 2 of us, which only leaves 2 left. Okay,
I got to throw this out there real quick for everyone listening. Farid let me speak a lot more on this, but Farid had a lot of these points ready. So like him and I were just saying the same stuff. So I want to throw that out there, that it wasn't, give him the credit that he deserves to this masterful
For
argument.
the L
we
that
threw
y'all
out
just
there.
took.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we clearly did our research, since Johnny tried to like throw us under the bus for using sources. But
Okay.
Yeah,
Anyways. Who wants to go first? Do we want to like, because you get first pick?
we'll go first.
Okay.
It doesn't really matter.
So
It's all random.
if you guys remember, I'm gonna hit the random button twice, and you get to pick between those two. And if you want to go for a third, you have to stick with that third. Okay.
Yep.
Here's the first one.
Got it.
Green Lantern, Winter Soldier. That's tough.
We gotta risk it. They're both not
Green
strong
Lantern's
enough
pretty
to
strong, yeah.
But-
yeah, not the movies.
Okay, are you guys
Oh
risking
yeah,
it on
this
this
is all
third one?
movies.
Are you,
It's off the movie.
Wait,
If it was off
cartoons,
the
right?
comic,
Wait,
then
cartoons,
I'd
right?
do it.
Can we count cartoons? So we have John.
bro? If we would
If
have
we're talking about Ryan Reynolds, the
we
answer
could have done that
is-
with Hulk.
True.
Give
All
me
right.
my big censorship for this week's episode if it's Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern. Beep. No.
All right, I'm about to roll for you guys
Yeah.
a third time.
Go ahead.
Vision.
Third time's a
Oh,
That's a good one. That's a good
hey,
one.
y'all,
All right.
y'all want to just call it? Re-roll again. We split up the teams. We already write this one down as a dub for Team Adidas.
All right,
All right.
Johnny, you ready to lose
Don't
again?
worry. We got something coming.
All right, here we go. Ready?
Adidas.
Here's the first roll. Gamora,
L.
Wolverine. We can roll again.
I'll say it's worth the risk.
I'm pretty confident in Wolverine, honestly.
Okay, let's stick
But-
with them.
I think we
Wolverine's
can
a
do
top
it,
3 hero for me, and you're wrong.
bro. I think we can do it. Or do you want to just risk it for the biscuit and hit it one more time?
Hey, they got
That's what she
a
said.
big they got a big reward for risking
Okay.
it. Let's risk it.
We have to risk it.
Risk it.
Black Panther, let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
All right. So what do we do in this case? Because that's an L. So do you guys want to like? Do we re-roll both, or like how do like? Can we just count that as a win for Kevin and I, or do you guys actually want to try and argue that? Like, what is
Well,
that
if we
plan?
can, Johnny.
Yeah, no, I would say let's get something a little bit more.
Okay. So do we
so
re-roll both?
realistic.
Match.
We can re-roll
Yeah.
both.
There's not going to be many characters in here that can take down Vision, to be honest.
Okay, I'll
Well, we
take him
could
out
do-
then.
We might need to tear these off a little bit.
Yeah. Like once, like find a way to do it where like we roll all of them on the first one, and then then it goes to like the S tier is now like whatever tier it is. Then they battle.
Like
you know what I'm
I
saying?
just rolled again, and it was Shazam and Shang-Chi. Like ain't no.
That's not bad.
Dude, Shazam is like Superman, bro.
I know, but those rings are nice. No, okay, let's
We'll roll again for you guys.
okay, yeah.
Ant-Man.
Three again. Ant-Man, okay.
Well, actually, I'll just do 3 straight.
Okay, and then pick out the 3.
So yeah, Ant-Man, Scarlet Witch. My computer froze. Captain America.
Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, Ant-Man. Oh, yeah, Scarlet Witch.
All right, Johnny. Got Scarlet Witch again. Wonder Woman, Nightwing, Black Widow. Damn, bro.
Yeah, we'll take Wonder Woman. We'll take her.
Okay.
Yeah, you better.
Actually, I think
that's
I think
the
that's
only chance.
Clapped, but okay.
I think we can take him with Wonder Woman. Or
Alright.
should we do one more roll and hopefully
How many rolls do we get now?
No, that's it. We'll do Wonder Woman. We'll have to
Changing
try our
rolls
best.
the whole time.
Well, why don't we just switch it all up and put one of you guys keep Vision, we'll take Scarlet Witch, or other way around.
Ooh.
That's a pretty sweet fight.
We could do roll it one more time, do the 3, and find the best matchup of those on 3. Like, you know what I mean? What we think is the best matchup.
Okay, so for Luke, that's
Because
unfair.
Johnny doesn't just get to take his favorite of the one that we rolled. So, I'm just kidding.
Okay, so for you guys, your first roll, Batman, unfair.
Auto
Shang-Chi,
win.
triple unfair. And Spider-Man, okay? So those are the 3 that you guys get to pick from. And Johnny, we got Deadpool, Falcon, and we just did Nightwing. And Batman. We got Batman. We got Deadpool again. War Machine.
Okay. So we had Spider-Man. We could do Spider-Man Deadpool.
That might be fun.
Yeah,
I think that one's a little unfair too, but it's
'cause-
unfair for us, so we'll do that one.
I mean, Kev. I agree. It is because of the healing factor, but
We might have to tier these off and then do
for
and
sure
then-
we need to
because-
do
I mean, yeah, if you go comic book logic, Spider-Man and Deadpool are pretty close. There's a lot of Spider-Man Deadpool crossover comics where they do stuff together.
It might be cool
The
to-
point is that they're like equally strong.
We could do let's do it. This next week. Let's do a DC versus Marvel crossover, and let's do like the equivalent. So like we could do like Batman versus Iron Man. We could do like Wolverine versus whoever. You know what I mean? Like, are you guys cool with doing something like that?
Yeah, let's do that. Who do you guys want to pick?
We'll take
I mean, I don't-
Batman. You guys can have whoever you want. Oh, Iron Man.
We'll take Iron Man.
Okay,
This is gonna
Oh,
really
Batman
break my
versus
heart to
Iron Man.
argue this.
Epic.
it's happening.
This is gonna break my heart. I love Batman
for-
so much, but I'm sorry, guys.
I'm gonna have to put this away for next week.
I'm gonna have to take
Put it
Iron
away.
Man on this one.
You
All right.
have a Batman mask. Let's replace it.
Yep, I'll wear it.
All right, so for next week, it's Batman, which is Luke and Kev, versus Iron Man, which is myself and Mr. Johnny. Mr. Johnny Funkos, because I won't say the last name.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. All right. Well, cool. Thanks everybody who stuck around for that versus battle and us trying to figure out how we wanted to do it for next week. We'll be back next week and we'll be talking about the season finale of What If. We'll be talking about the last or Venom, Let There Be Carnage. And then we'll also be talking about our versus battle, Batman versus Iron Man, a little DC versus Marvel action here. Is there any other things that are coming out that I'm missing here that we'll be talking about next week?
Not sure, but I just want to say for those of you who have stayed tuned until this point, it's just a friendly spoiler warning as what we'll be talking about in this episode.
Yeah, yeah. We forgot the spoiler warning. I'll put that in the recording.
No. They deserve to just listen.
Okay. Cool. So once again, follow us at Korg's Headphones on every social media platform besides Facebook, and follow Kevin at K_West3. Follow Farid at Farid_Araya. Follow Johnny at Johnny's Funkos, and me at LJM Fandom. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you guys next week.
Later, everybody.